Hi, it's Dave with DRH Acrylic Creations. Today's kind of a special day. I'm going to be sharing with you the first run on a brand new spinner I got today in the mail. This is one of Jessica Winterstrom's baby spinners. I have her big spinner and love it, but it's not for everything. This little spinner is a lower profile, and I just have to share it with you. So I'm going to take you down and show you the spinner before I start working with it. Okay, well, this is the spinner in its raw form. Usually what I do is I cover them up, and I'm going to go through my process with that here in just a second. But I wanted to share with you the size of this. It's a 10-inch square. Well, it's probably more in millimeters. Yep, straight up at 25 millimeters. So the 25 millimeter square and basically 56 and a half millimeters from arm to arm. So if we flip that over and see where that ends up there, and just basically at 22 inches. So it's actually big enough to do a lot of pieces that normal size that I do. I want to share with you just how fast this spinner is. I mean, that spins as well as my cake spinners do, and it's a lower profile. I'll take you down in a minute just to show you just how low profile this is. Now you can see that it is, I mean, that's lower than any other spinner I've ever worked with. So I think that's probably no more than 4 inches above the surface of my table. Oh, it's not even that. It is about 2.5 inches. So I mean, that is extremely low profile. I'm loving that. Might be hard to believe, but I'm a bit of a clean neck. I like things a little bit more organized in my art room. Although for me the room feels like a mess right now, it's as organized as so that I can find things, and that's my whole thing with organization. I need to be able to find things when I need them. So I'm going to get my stuff out and show you how I prepare my spinners before I use them. I've used a lot of things over the years to keep my spinners clean. And my main reason for keeping spinners clean is so that the paint doesn't get into the bearing of the spinner. So what I use is aluminum foil. I've used a lot of different things over the years, but this is the one thing I've landed on that if I get it messed up, I can easily just redo it. So I have this extra wide thing of Reynolds wrap that I got at Costco. But you know, whatever aluminum foil that you can find will work for this. And again, this is just what I do. I'm going to, let me see how I want to go about this, because the first time I have to get a feel for the placement. And my thing is I just covered up with aluminum foil, which allows me to paint and not worry about the surface of the spinner getting, paint on it, which, that's just aesthetics, but mostly so that the bearings underneath aren't affected by, splattering paint. So I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to speed it up and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, that's it. And basically, all I'm just trying to do is keep the paint off of it, keep the paint out of the gears. Now I cover this up again even a little bit more, because at this point when I'm getting ready to paint, I use my little target. And this has dual purpose as far as I'm concerned. This keeps me on track. At least hopefully it keeps me on track where the center of the painting is. Today we're going to be testing this out with a 6-inch tile. And this is part of the reason I love these silicone mats from floetrol.co. They allow me to line up my well, you know, that works. My tiles or my piece in the dead center, because I can see where it is with the circles. So love this, and if I use the lines correctly, I know the center is right here, as long as I pay attention to that when I'm laying down my paints. So let me see what I'm going to do real quickly, and I'll be right back. Okay, I wasn't going to share this part of it. I am getting some paints out from underneath my table here, and trying to use up some paints that I've had down there for a little while. And so this is Phalo Turquoise, and actually I believe it is, yes, Phalo Turquoise. It's by Golden. And what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm trying to thin it down, because my consistency, if you can see this, the consistency on this is just a little thick. And in trying to thin it out, I've noticed I got chunks in there. So what I do in that case is I'll take my strainer and I'll push it through. And the chunks will go into the strainer. And this works out beautifully most of the time. But it certainly does smooth out my paints. So this is a new trick that I recently just started doing, and it served me pretty well, because I'm working with a lot of older paints. Some of these have been made, I think I made this up maybe as much as 3 months ago. So I try to get as much as I can out of my paints, but this is how I try to keep them, well, keep from spending too much on them. I'm going to move this down, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I've strained it. It's still very thick. I don't know if you can see that. It's extremely thick. For me, that's just too thick to work with. So what I normally do with this, so I have a little bottle of Jo Sonja varnish. This is just a bottle I picked up. I take it out of the big one and put it in. And I just add a little bit at a time until my consistency gets to where I want it to be. Now, some people use water, and I've been known to use a little bit of water when it's just too out of control. But by adding the varnish, it doesn't break down the pigment. And that's my main reason for doing that. I actually learned that from Jody Flynn, the Painted Dreamer. And she uses a solution of water to Jo Sonja. It's like 90% Jo Sonja to water. I've erred on the side of no water unless I absolutely have to have it. And if you can see the consistency there, I hope you can see that I'm getting now, it's mounding, but it's flattened out pretty quick. I think I need just a little bit more. As you can see, there's not much I put in there. Just enough to loosen it up. It's a nice smooth paint. A lot of people ask me, you know, I don't use cheap paints. and don't use craft paints. And my main reason for is I find that better paints save money. They're highly pigmented, and I don't need as much of it. If I were to use the same thing with a craft paint, I'd probably use the better part of a half a bottle, maybe. Instead with this, I don't think I'd probably use much more than a nickel-sized daub. So there we are. I think that's close enough. I'm just going to pour this back into its container, which I've taken the time to clean out. And I'll be right back. Okay, some people might have asked me what the heck I was putting my paint in. This is just a silicone cup that I got from, well, it's Love Life, but it's low. Well, I can never pronounce it, guys, but you can see it there. This is I have a mat by them also. They're great mats, great product. I get pretty much all my stuff now from floetrol.co, but that is not a disparaging remark towards the other companies. It's just my preference. I've got several colors here on my table now, ready to go. People have asked me in the past how I mix my paints, and I do have a video series of that. That's my 101 video series, and you can find that in my description, and I'll put a link up at the top. So let's get started. My pillow paint has been for, I'm going to have to go back and actually look, because I fluctuate. It's been about 2.5 years. And I got the reference to it from Karen Durskin at Waterfall Acrylics, and it has become my go-to pillow paint. It's not expensive, and I love the consistency of it. With the first part being probably the most important. It's not expensive. Because all the pillow paint is to put your paints on top, your color paints on top of it, so it can flow across. That's it. So the consistency of paint is important so that it supports it. You can see here, this is my thickest of all my paints. It doesn't look like it here, but it is. This is a house paint. So the base of all of my paints is house paint. This is the SheleeArt technique, and it consists of several components. And as you go up, the components get less in thickness. So this is the one that stands up the most, followed by my color layer, which is mixed with my pouring medium, which is a base 3 or base C house paint with pigments and some just on your varnish. And then finally my cell activator, which is paint and a high quality paint and Australian floetrol. So this is a technique that I learned from the SheleeArt art basic course she has, and I have been playing with it now for let's see, I guess it's about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years now. So love it. Okay, so what I'm going to be putting down here are 3 pigments, this little Piggy pigments, which started out as a powder. I loosened them up with a little bit of Joe Sonia varnish, and then added to my pouring medium. Both of my shiny ones are semi-transparent or transparent, except for the last pigment, which is Mosh, which you can see is a very bright orange. This is neon, and that was a goober. This is neon, and it is opaque, so you cannot see through it. And I'll explain to you what I'm going to be doing with that when I get to it. So, got my pillow paint down, and it has moved around And I have to get my level out because this has been happening quite a bit lately, where my pillow paint moves. And I end up having to do what I'm doing here, just rearrange it. Okay, that should do it. Lining it up with my corners. That way I know it's in center. Okay, first color going to be down is this is Phalo Turquoise. It is a semi-opaque. It is from Golden, and it's going to be what my colors sit on. So the whole plan with when you put your colors down, you need to understand the first color you put down is generally going to be your most predominant color. This color is very similar to Southern Ocean blue. Which the Southern Ocean blue has a little bit more of a blue to it than the Phalo, but it's pretty close. There's been times I've been working with it, I couldn't remember which one was which. Okay, so now I've got my tube paint down. I've got some bubbles in there, which could cause problems, but we're gonna just go with it. Okay, next down, let's go. This is Crescendo. It's this little Piggy pigment. It has a lavender or appearance to it, but I don't know if you can get to see that or not. It has a shift to it. Shift into the violet. I usually have to look at it again. Sometimes I get that wrong. Okay. As you can tell, I'm going to be doing a bloom today. I'm going to put down now. This is Teal, another golden paint. It is semi-opaque. Yes, there's a rhyme to my reason. I am laying down in classic Lisa Marvin style. I am laying down my paints so that I have a tube paint or opaque, semi-opaque paint, followed by a Piggy that gives it something to shine through and gives it the shiny ones to have something to work with, so that they shine better. So, and we got 1, 2, 3. We got the turquoise. I need to put down this is one of the newer ones. I have to actually look it up. It's a Crescendo, Flamingo, and the other one. This is the other one. I'll put that on the screen here when I shut down. So you see, I've got a color. I've got almost the color palette is extremely similar, so it's just a matter of hues. It's not, but it's in the same family of colors. So I need to break it up just a little bit. That's where the Mosh comes in. My plan with the Mosh, I'll put that down in the middle. It doesn't need to be much. That's about it. And what the Mosh does is when I put my cell activator on top of that, the goal is it's going to grab onto the cell activator and become part of the webbing. We'll see. Lately, I have been using the TriArt. Paints for my cell activators. I used to use only Amsterdam products for my cell activators. That's a little bit thick. Let me thin that up a little bit. In this case, I have another little bottle. Gotta give it a good shake. This is Australian floetrol in here. I take it out of the bigger bottle and just put it in here. Easier to control. I just put a little bit in. A little bit more than a little bit. And that's okay. If I put too much in, we'll see here in just a second. It is. So I'm going to just go ahead and pull up some more paint. That's a TriArt. That is some good stuff there. You can find it also at floetrol.co and probably at any one of the other online stores. I get mine at FluidArt. It's a one-stop shop for me, and I'll tell you why. It's because floetrol.co, you may pay a little bit more than you do with say Jerry's or Blick, but floetrol.co, for the extra 75 cents, $1, they're at my door within a week. I've had them arrive as soon as 3 or 4 days after I ordered them. So I love their speed. I love their customer service. I'm not sponsored by them, but I just love I love the company. So, and I'm just putting a little tiny bit in the middle. Okay. You can see I'm getting a little bit of a halo there, and I want to see that. That's good news. Let's see if I'm centered. I am not. So I need to move this back center. I usually do that before I add the cell activator, because once you add the cell activator, it immediately starts to sink. And that's what you want it to do, but the longer you wait, the more chances for inconsistent response. So, my head might get in the way. I'll be right back with this. Okay, let that do its thing for a second. It's gathering up underneath. Usually I blow this out by mouth, but because my camera is right above, I need to be out of the way so you can see what's going on. You can see a little bit of a response happening there. Let's go ahead and start pulling out the petals. I think it's gone enough. Okay, you can see I've gotten some cell response. I've got some wonky cells going on there in the middle. Is it a perfect bloom? Well, time will tell, but my intuition tells me it's probably not going to be. But it's certainly going to be pretty because of the colors. So let me pick up a stick. I think I'm going to enhance. Some people call it wrecking, but wrecking has a different connotation to me. So let's enhance. And let's see how that does. It's been a while since I've done modifications. They're fun. There's no rhyme or reason. You're just trying to get patterns in the paint. Okay. Got a little bit of a blotch in the middle, but I think we'll be okay with that. Let's spin this thing out and see what we come up with. Here we go. This is the first time I've spun this with the painting on it. See how it goes. It goes whizzy go fast. Okay, let's go the other direction. Okay, my corners are not flowing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up some of the paint and then move it out to that corner and allow it to flow out. If I were doing Dutch or the standard or the typical style of fluid art, I'd call this flow extender. That's technically what it is. All I'm doing is giving it some paint to flow across. I got a big old piece over here that needs to be done. Trying to avoid putting more paint down on the canvas if I can, or tile in this case. Okay. That'll have to do. Okay. Give it a spin. A little bit harder spin this time. Love this spinner, guys. Thank you, Jessica. This is an amazing, amazing piece of gear. Okay, I feel like I have a lot more control with how fast it moves. I'm going to still it over here. I want to get rid of that white section over there. So now I'm spinning to move paint. Okay, that got off. Got that white off of there. There's some sides that need to be done. That moved off over here. I think we're good. Let me just take care of the sides that need it. And we're good to go. Okay. Give you a little closer look and then I'll take you down for the flyover. Okay, that was a lot of fun. This new little spinner, this baby spinner, is everything I was hoping for and more. I loved the big spinner, so I was not expecting it not to be what I was hoping for. But I'm a big fan of Jessica Winterstrom's product. So if you're in the market for a spinner, this is a thumbs up for me. The painting I did today, the color's absolutely beautiful, and unfortunately it did take a spill on the way to my drawing table and it didn't make it. So, oh well, this happens. At least I got some pictures and a video of its making. These things do happen. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment. And again, I want to thank you very much for being here and hope to see you again next time. Bye for now.